Oh my gosh, y'all! I found a YouTube video that I have to share. I'm just gonna share one of the videos. And I'll put the playlist in my comments so that y'all can go and look at the rest of the videos.
Oh, man, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, that dinner gonna be good. This is The Chosen. It is a dark musical comedy. Let me see. Let me pull it up, and then I'll read it. Share my screen. It says, The Chosen is a dark musical comedy based. I don't know how I found this. This crazy shit just came across my news feed. It says The Chosen is a dark musical comedy based on the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell case. It is told through the lens of her best friend, Melanie Gibb. This is written by a lady named Margaret Owens, and it's performed at UCLA. It was UCLA Fest, October 2022. So we got Melanie Gibbs, Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, and Alex Cox. And I'm gonna only gonna play this one. Y'all can come and check out the other ones in her playlist.
I'm trying. What if I build you a portal? A place where we can secretly convene where time and space won't dictate how or when. I love you. We'll meet up somewhere in between, right here nestled in the handbags. Between the snow boots and the bulky winter clothes. What if I build you a portal? So step inside and I will say a blessing, so you can feel me when you're dressing. Call to me when you need to be reminded of your power. Here's the gateway for ascension to the spiritual dimension. If it feels too claustrophobic, we can build one in your shower. I want to build you a portal until the time we can be together always, preparing the people for when this whole world ends. Till the time I can hold you again.
I think that one of the hardest parts is to
Okay, I'm gonna share this video right here that shows the I'm waiting on the trial audio to open up, but I'm gonna share this video right here that it's about the hair that was found on the tape, the duct tape that was found on JJ Vallow.
Groundbreaking testimony today in the Lori Vallow murder trial. The cult mother accused of killing her two youngest children. We learned that Lori's hair was found on duct tape that was wrapped around her 7-year-old son's body. This was confirmed by a DNA analyst who took the stand today. Also, cell phone data shows Lori's brother, Alex Cox, was with her at the time that one of her children was killed. The data shows that Alex was in Lori's apartment between 2:42 a.m. and just before 9 a.m. in the early morning hours when Lori's daughter, Tylee, died. An investigator testified that on the mornings after JJ and Tylee were killed, Alex's phone traveled to Chad Daybell's house, Lori's fifth husband. We do know the children's bodies were later discovered buried on Daybell's property. News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Enton was in the courtroom today. Brian, was that testimony about this hair of Lori's on the duct tape as dramatic as it sounds like it was?
It certainly was, Elizabeth. You know, we've heard so much circumstantial evidence over the last couple of weeks, so much emotion. We've heard all about the cult, but we hadn't heard anything like what we heard today. Forensic evidence, hard forensic evidence, now connecting Lori to the death of her children. And it all comes down to that hair. That DNA expert was on the stand for a couple of hours and explained that the hair found in the duct tape, you remember, that was wrapped around little JJ's mouth and body, that hair was tested and it connected back through DNA to Lori. I had my eyes on the jury when all of this was going down. All of them were taking notes, listening to all of it, her every word, that expert. We came out of court for lunch, and JJ and Tylee's grandpa said, look, this was a bombshell. He said,
Right.
I didn't even expect this. He said that this was the biggest day in court yet.
Yeah, we've been hearing for days, actually, that there was hair found on this duct tape, because the duct tape was not only over JJ's mouth, but it was around the bag that his body was found in. So this was the first time we heard that actually one of those hairs belongs to Lori. I'm curious, what was her reaction when this DNA analyst testified to that effect?
Really emotionless. I mean, I was watching her also sort of looking at the jury and then turning over and looking at Lori, especially during that part, because I don't think anyone saw it coming. And she didn't really show much emotion at all. She talked to her lawyer a couple of times, taking notes throughout the day, but she was not emotional today as we've seen other days.
All right, stand by. I want to bring Sarah Azari, who's a defense attorney, into this. Sarah, you've said that this might not be quite as big a deal as Brian and I both think it is, or tell us why we're wrong.
I mean, look, I definitely think you guys are right, because there's a shock factor and there's a sting, because up until now we've heard about motive evidence, right? And this is the first time we're hearing about something scientific that puts Lori at potentially what might be the crime scene. But, you know, I think, you know, the defense can offer possibly a plausible explanation for this, and that she is his mom. Alex was always with her. This hair could have transferred via Alex, or also, you know, there was also the baby blanket that he was wrapped in, which is typically what a mom would do when they're burying their child. So she may have known that he was dead. She admitted to that to her sister on that phone call, but that she not necessarily participated in the planning of the murder, or, you know, actively participated in the murder itself. Again, will the jury buy it is a different question.
Thank you for watching. Go to
Okay, let me see if I can find some more videos to look at. I'm waiting on them to release. I'm waiting on them to release the trial audio, the audio for today. Okay, I just put a link in the chat right there for this channel right here. I'm gonna go back to it and play some more of her videos because they are Pretty funny.
Two women, Cynthia and Larissa, both attractive. 4 spots of light illuminate 4 middle-aged people. Two women, Cynthia and Larissa, both attractive, but Larissa is much more focused on and aware of her beauty. And 2 men, Kyle, Larissa's brother, and Toby, mild-mannered and unassuming. They sing. I am a woman of God.
I am a servant of God.
Man of
Don't
God.
know much about God, but we all play a part. I have been listening to God.
I have been learning of God. I have been praying to God.
I pretty much just pick up on what other people say.
Say that. Yes, I introduced them. But she'd been reading him for months. She was obsessed. She would have met him either way. I don't know. She seduced him. The moment that he shook her hand, it was clear that for him the whole world went away. Their attraction to each other was both vivid and profound. They stood there gunshot gazing, shading hands like no one was around. The meeting of their minds ignited what became a little fire. But it is not my fault to see. How could I know what would transpire?
You know what's crazy? Hey,
No,
Glow.
quick, that's old.
Ooh, Jazzy.
Get your mama, I'm cooking.
Hey, Glow. I was just scrolling on YouTube, and that is like somebody that wrote a play about this case, and they had their students act it out. It's some college students acting it out. So that's why I was playing. Like, I don't even know how I came across it. And I couldn't believe that somebody actually did that.
Four spots of light illuminate 4 middle-aged people. 2 women, Cynthia and Larissa. 4 spots of light.
This would be somebody, y'all. This is
Where's
somebody. This is Chad acting out. What did it say? This is when Chad Daybell meets Lori Vallow.
You have called me through the ages, and I've heard your voice echo in my soul. I have dreamed your face and written you in pages, drawing me to feelings I could not control. The moment that I touched your hand, I thought, now at last I understand. We've a mission bigger than ourselves alone. 144,000 souls we will shepherd to the light. I have led my my vision guide me, and now you are here beside me, as the goddess that my waking dreams foretold. You're the sign of revelations to unfold.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting. They actually have a lot of talent for being. They have a lot of talent for being in college, and I just came across it. I can't even tell y'all how I came across it, but I don't want to share all of her stuff. Let me get out of it. Her name is Margaret Owens. I don't. She's an inspirational singer and songwriter and actress. So you guys can go over and let me turn the notifications off. You guys can go over to her page and subscribe. She got a lot of good videos over here, but I just so happened to come across one of these. It looks like a whole entire. They did a whole play that was 20. Wait, it was in the playlist right here. This first video looks like it's 24 minutes long. So the entire thing looks like it's 24 minutes long. And then they broke it down into different sections. And I came across one of these sections and watched it. And it was hilarious to me. They're talented. They're good singers. So they kind of put like a comedy twist on the, it's really a sad story, but a little comedy didn't hurt nobody. Let me find some more videos that I watched today. I was busy, but I was trying to kind of keep up with the trial, and it looks like in the Lori Vallow Daybell trial, it's week 4 or it's week 5, whichever one you want to consider. Officially week 5, unofficially week 4. Today in particular, I noticed that they talked about they did a lot of in-depth about Alex, which is Lori's brother. So they did a lot of like pings on his phone. And I think they had an FBI investigator that went up on the stand. And I was gonna play the trial audio, but I've never done that. And the trial audio is extremely, extremely long, and there's a lot of pages that are going to play the trial audio, and it will put me to sleep. Yeah, Glow, week 1 was jury selection, and so we're legitimately just started week 5 right now. So a lot, if you look it up on YouTube or you're looking, a lot of people are calling it week 4. So it's just whatever you want to call it. But it's really been 5 weeks. Yeah. I want to play a video for you guys. I just skimmed through it just a minute ago. They also talked about the death of Tammy Daybell a whole lot today. They showed her body again. They showed her her autopsy after she was exhumed, and so I saw a interview that her niece did. So I kind of want to check that out because a lot in this case, Tammy doesn't get a whole lot of spotlight. Like the kids went missing and they're the ones that got a lot of spotlight, but Tammy also died at the hands of these same people. And so I wanted I didn't listen to all of it earlier. It's like maybe it's 15 minutes long. I'm going to play this interview that Tammy's niece did. And I actually stopped calling her Tammy Daybell because for your own husband to kill you and then you died and you're still being called by the name of your murdering husband. Like, I'm just calling her Tammy from now on, okay? The Daybell name should not even be attached to her anymore. But let me go pull it up real quick.
behind
Yeah, I was right. It's about 15 minutes
the,
long. Let me add it.
that side. Yeah, but, and then there's a little piece right here behind here.
I only got like half.
Off, how Brooke, first off, how has this trial been for you and your immediate family, like your father, especially hearing last week's testimony from your aunt? That had to be a pivotal moment.
It's painful. It's hard to experience, and listening to her relive those moments and talk about Tammy, who we all really loved, is hard.
Yeah, what I gathered from her was just still this shock, even though it's been nearly 4 years, that how everything just unfolded so quickly. Nearly 4 years since Tammy died. Can you take me back to that time and the funeral, how quick it felt?
It was immediate. Traditionally, it would be like a week. You'd wait for people to be able to come, and it felt like she passed, and then there was a funeral, and then it was over, and we didn't have answers.
And I assume that you're close to your father. I mean, he's the oldest, you just said. What was it like for him trying to figure out the answers?
Devastating. And harder than that, I think, is just waiting and not knowing. And I'm hopeful that everyone will have some closure and sense of resolution soon.
And did you have initial suspicions after that funeral, or were you just grieving? What was that like for you? What do you think?
Uh, it's hard to say. Everyone grieves so differently. And for me, I was mostly just confused. There was a lot of very quick change in everyone's lives after that, and it felt like a betrayal.
Yeah, can I ask when you actually found out that Chad had remarried, and who is this woman named Lori Vallow? It was just when did you find out?
For me, it was about a month later, maybe 5 weeks, something like that. It felt quick, but it was apparently faster than that even.
Yeah, it was only about 17 days, I think, after Tammy died, and then they got married. So what was it like, for your family, just trying to put all the pieces together and absorb this within the first month?
Um, Startling, surreal. It's something you don't really expect, so you don't know how to process it. It's new information that you don't know what to do with. And I think that we, throughout this entire process, have struggled with, okay, what now? What is happening? This is real, And we've taken that energy and tried to channel it into positive things, like with the foundation.
And just a month after you find out, then you're trying to process even more because you find out about JJ and Tylee missing. You find out about Charles Vallow, who had been killed just earlier that summer. And then you fast forward to June of 2020 and those devastating tragedies. The past few years, do you feel like your family has moved on and gotten closure, or like you said, trying to focus that energy on the foundation is one route in
Who is this interviewer? No shade, but he is boring me.
trying to heal?
Yeah. We have been trying to focus on healing and honoring Tammy. That's been really important to us. We can't join the investigators. We can't find a solution on our own. But what we can do is focus on helping people and furthering what Tammy's legacy and life mission had been. So that's been something that we're able to put our energies and our hearts into to help us with that process.
And that's very admirable. And I want to find out more about the foundation as well. But just so you know, right now, the Utah medical examiner is testifying and really getting to the details of the autopsy that happened. You know, how important is it for you to get the truth and the finer details of what happened? How much do you keep in contact or keep track of what's going on?
Yeah, Glow, for real. It's almost over. So has anybody kept up with the findings of her autopsy? They seem inconclusive to me. It seems like they can't give a good reason as to what they found, or yeah, he has no personality. They are not giving a good reason. Well, the coroner and the medical examiner that were on the scene when Tammy initially died are saying conflicting things now. And the medical examiner has not even changed her death certificate to show homicide. It still says natural causes of death. They said they're not going to change it for some reason until the trial is over. I don't know what that reason that would be for, but I find it strange that they would take that information to the trial and present it to the jury. But they're saying that at first she died of natural causes. Chad did not want an autopsy done on his wife Tammy, so they didn't perform an autopsy. Then you get the medical examiner and the coroner on the stand, and I think this was last Friday or Thursday. They were saying that that Tammy had pink foam around her mouth, some kind of pink foam around her mouth. And to me, isn't that a cause for concern to do an autopsy? Isn't that enough cause for concern to do an autopsy? Let me finish this right here, because I didn't finish it earlier. I think I got to that halfway point, and I want to finish what they're talking about, and then I want to deep dive into the two things that they talked about today, which would be Alex and Tammy, and the DNA that they found on JJ.
On with this trial?
It's different for different members of our family. Some are listening every day and taking notes. Some have distanced ourselves so that we can protect our mental health and our hearts. And I think every approach is valid with that. It's painful.
Painful, yeah. I gotta imagine it's hard to absorb the details and getting the official cause of death, which you guys may have known for some time. But you know, she was so healthy. We're learning so much more from witnesses about her fitness and that she was in a mental state, a happy mental state from what it seemed like from your Aunt Samantha. Do you think that she had any idea about what was going on between Chad and Lori ever?
It's hard to speculate with that. I didn't have any idea. I don't know that anyone in my family could say.
It seems like it totally blindsided you guys. What was Tammy like to you as an aunt?
She was wonderful. We had a lot in common, and I really adored her. Her raising up ducks and chickens and other animals inspired me to keep my own flock.
And she kind of looks like Tammy. Let me see if I can get a picture of Tammy pulled up. Yeah, it is a lot going on with a lot of people. Glow, they kept a lot of this stuff. I'm surprised on different people say different things, but I'm surprised on a lot of things that are coming out in the actual trial, because there's things that we didn't know until the trial started. Like I did not know that Alex Cox, which is Lori's brother, I did not know that he purchased 45 firearms within 2 months, including different types of guns, rifles, silencers. all in like a short period of time. I did not know that Alex Cox got a $20,000 payment into his bank account right after Charles died and right before the kids went missing. Like I said about the DNA that they found on JJ, the hair, glow. The day on the trial that they looked into the financial records of everybody, it looked like it was a loan, credit, some credit company gave that to him. And that's the same time frame that he was purchasing all of those firearms. Well, you know, these people were doomsday preppers on top of that. And so I don't know if that had something to do with the reason why he was overstocking himself with weapons, or is it because he was just a cold-blooded killer? I mean, it's being proved already in the trial that Alex has been around for the time of deaths of all these people. Well, he killed Charles. He definitely killed Charles. His handprint was on the black bag that JJ was found in, buried in. He didn't forge signatures. Signatures on what? Look at Tammy and look at the look at this picture of Tammy and her, then look at her niece on the screen. So that's Tammy, Chad Daybell's wife. Let's go back.
Lie.
I don't know all the details of the loan and the credit lines. I never went back. I'm gonna go back to that specific audio day in the trial because they also released a lot of times, and I wanted to put together a timeline. I feel like I'm gonna have to just do an overnight marathon live and I don't have time during the day to do it, so then I'll put it together. All the places that Alex was at specific times, but that was the same time that they talked about the credit that he got. They believed that to be credit, $20,000 in his bank account. To me, it seemed like payment for killing Charles, to be honest. Okay, let's finish this little interview real quick.
Her love of books spread throughout our family, and it became a culture. We're all avid readers. She
Just,
influenced us a lot, and she was incredibly kind and giving.
do you feel like sometimes you still, you know, when you try to remember her, you still hear her voice or little things that she said, phrases, or if you could share?
As strange as it is, Facebook Memories has played a huge part of this for me, because so much of how we interact with our loved ones now is a lot of it's online, and especially where we didn't live in the same state for a long time. So, you know, comments will pop up or things that you sent each other, and having those little love notes left behind has been wonderful.
When this story is brought up in the media, usually the focus is obviously on Lori and Chad, and mainly her children, JJ and Tylee, as the victims. But there are other victims, and it seems that Tammy has always needed more of a voice through all this. Is that where you and your aunt have come in, and now you're ready to speak? Just like it seems like it's very important for you now to speak up, so she is remembered, you know, in coverage of this case.
Uh, I think that's why the members of the board and my family who started the foundation did do that, because we didn't want her to become forgotten, and we didn't want her life and legacy to be about this, but about what she loved and who she was and the things that she did. And a huge part of her life as a librarian was helping children learn to love reading. So a lot of our goals and our focus the past few years have been on that.
Yeah, let's talk about the Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation, how you guys came up with the idea as a family. Really, when we think about libraries, I think it takes us back to our childhoods and very happy moments and finding a place of peace, somewhere to learn or take us into our own fantasy worlds via reading. Just
I
what
like
is
that. I might take that caption.
what does that say about Tammy's personality and her passion about not just being a librarian, but she did it because she loved books and wanted to share that with
Yeah.
others.
And really that was, I think, part of the essence of the essence of her as a person. She was warm and safe, and I think most children have a memory of their librarian growing up that's good. Nobody remembers a mean librarian. And I think that's for a reason. Libraries and books and stories are, they're intrinsic to who we are as people. And Tammy was incredibly passionate about sharing stories and getting kids involved with reading. She spent a lot of her time and energy on finding grants and ways to help get more tools to help the kids in her community have access to books.
Do you feel like that's something she would have done till she retired? She was
Oh,
very
yeah.
happy with that.
From the time that she was little, one of the favorite stories that my family likes to tell, my dad and my aunt and uncles, when they were kids, Tammy had her own little landing library in their house, and she took it very seriously. And so I think that was just a part of who she was for always.
She was meant to be a librarian at a young age. That's awesome. Um, is there anything else that you would like to mention? I know in the midst of all of this chaos and terrible details, you all. I feel like this sheds a light on who she is. You have the opportunity and the platform to do that.
It's been heartbreaking, but it's been a blessing to be able to pour so much love and energy into that. Tammy's birthday is coming up. It's on May 4th. Um, she never quite got to celebrate her 50th, so we are making the best of each one that comes after. The foundation for her birthday, we're doing a series of micro donation blasts where we're trying to get as much money and help as we can in one day to as many librarians and teachers and programs that we can. So each member of the foundation will be selecting people to receive donations, and we are fundraising leading up to there. So if anyone wants to contribute to that and be part of what we're doing, that would be fantastic.
And I know there's a website and everything on social media to find out more about
Yeah,
this.
yeah. It's the TammyDaybellFoundation.com. And right now we're able to accept donations just with PayPal. There's a link on our website. And all of the funds that we raise are going straight back into helping.
I'm also curious to know, just kids, we grow up and we move on and we go into our careers, but how close were you guys still, even before she died?
I wish I could say that we saw each other every day, but there was some distance there. It was difficult. And I had also moved away for a few years, but that spring, when she died in the fall later that year, I had moved back to Utah just because I missed family. So we were taking every opportunity that we could to see each other. And we talked a lot online. I actually talked to her. Well, I can't really say talking. I left a funny gif of a duck on her page earlier that evening, and she liked it. And that was our last interaction.
I see there's a duck there too. Speaking of
Yes.
which, behind you. Yeah, so happy moments you shared, and that's awesome that you are a part of this force and remembering her with your family. And I think it helps bond you guys together. So Brooke, thank you so much for your time, and I
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having me.
Yeah. So I'll be in contact when this. I want to put, if you're okay with it, I'd like to show
Let's see if the trial audio is ready. No, I don't see the trial. I don't see the audio ready. Let me see if I can find. Oh my gosh. I got to go and pull up some of this interview about Alex that I was watching last night. The one that he likes to go to Colombia and buy women. I got to go find that one. She was dropping so much dirt on Alex.
Valentine's Day here, but it's called Love and Friendship.
Mhm.
So it's not only for couples, but also for friends. And you like exchange, presents with your friends or your boyfriend or whatever. So, this agency had what they call a love tour. And my friend, she was part of the agency because I guess she wanted she wanted a husband. She was single. She was like single for so many years. And then she told me if I wanted to come with her to the event. And so I thought it was awkward because I had never been part of something like that. So at the time we were working together and honestly speaking, we were not making much money. So I guess she wanted, I'm always like looking for ways to make money. So I told her like, why don't we email the owner of this business and, we just ask him if he's looking for, interpreters and maybe we can make some extra money. And so she did. And he replied, I am not gonna be, like giving you the name of the agency and all that stuff because obviously they have like pictures. I mean, not pictures of me or Alex, but I know that people can definitely like find these people and even pay them money for them to like get those pictures out. And I definitely don't
Gotcha.
want
No,
that.
no, no. I don't want anything like that to happen to you.
Yeah, I know now. I mean, like I said, like my husband is super supportive, but like I waited for the longest time for him to be out of the house because even though he knows and, he understands it's part of, it was a mistake that I made. It's just not cool to be like talking about you being
Sure.
with another guy. I don't know.
Sure.
I
It's a
wouldn't like
respect
it.
thing. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
respect thing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how we ended up getting hired for this event. Now, so it was I believe it was like September. It could have been between September 7th and the 10th, when we met. And so, we were assigned a person, and there were like 10 guys, maybe 12. And there were like almost like 500 women. Like there was a lot of women there. And I was introduced to Alex. Actually, I wasn't even introduced to him. I was told, like, from a distance, they showed me like that's gonna be the person you're gonna be working with. So I said, okay, cool. So I walked towards him, and and I say, hey, my name is Maria, and he said, hi, my name is Alex Koss. And like we started talking, and then right away I really liked his personality because I'm very goofy. Like I don't know.
What was Alex wearing? Like, do you remember what he looked when you first saw him? Like, what did you think? What was he wearing?
Yeah, so he was wearing like brown dress pants, like they were like light in color, and he was wearing regular dress shoes because it was the first night, so it wasn't like
So it was like casual.
Yeah, it was like casual. It wasn't like like too elegant of an event for the first night. And then he was also wearing like a long sleeve shirt. I remember it was blue, and it is a kind of shirt. Like, I don't know if he got it here in the States or in Colombia, but it's a kind of shirt that we call guayabera. And he was wearing that. And
what is that? What explain that? What is that?
So the shirts that we call guayabera are made out of linen or linen. I don't know exactly how to
Yeah. So they're
it.
that thin cotton linen.
Yeah,
like a beachy kind of shirt.
Right. But like I said, it was like a light blue, and they're actually pretty cool because the weather where I come from is hot. It's like Florida kind of hot weather, very humid. So that fabric actually keeps you fresh.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's what he was wearing. And
he didn't stand out. He blended right in. He was just like a normal guy.
Yeah, definitely. But he was very charming. Like, we started talking, and he told me that he that he was a comedian, that he was a truck driver, and that he was a licensed massage therapist. I think that when I wrote my post, I said that he was a certified massage therapist, but he's actually a licensed massage or
right. Well, same difference, yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
So yeah, he was very charming. He made me laugh a lot, and we hit it off from the beginning. Like the first night, we talked for a while, and then the first night, so the host, or it was the owner of the business, so we were in a hotel, and we were in one of the rooms, and then the host would get on like a kind of like a stage that they had, and he would be like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and then they had an interpreter interpreting Spanish. And they would be like, and here comes such and such from California, and then the ladies would like cheer up and go like, woo, like wild. And then and when I remember that when it was his turn, he kind of like started dancing down the aisle, and then he got on the stage, and then he said the same thing. My name is Alex, I come from Arizona. And then he said something like, I'm looking for a nice lady to have a serious relationship. And everybody would applaud after whatever they said. And yeah, that's what happened then.
Okay, so that was the first night. There was like an introduction to the people that worked in this company. Is that what I'm understanding?
No, it was like the guys that were looking for for a partner.
Okay, so they went on stage and introduced themselves, and there was how many girls?
almost 500, and it was only like maybe 10 to 15 guys. It was like a lot of women.
Wow. So did they pick or did you choose them?
So the way it worked was, so after the introduction, I mean, like that wasn't the only thing. Like
Okay. No, go ahead.
after the introduction, they would say like, okay, now we have a buffet or we have drinks, and you guys, can enjoy the rest of the night or whatever. So they had like a large buffet in the salon or the room, excuse me, and you would just casually go and grab some food or a drink or whatever. I don't drink, but I definitely eat. I love food. And I was with him all the time. So wherever he went, I had to be with him. And so the way it worked was, if he saw someone in the room that he thought was cute, we would approach that person. Or if he was too shy, I would go by myself and say, hey, you see that gentleman over there? He's interested in talking to you. Would you be interested? And some girls would say like,
She was the
like, no, he's
matchmaker.
too old for me. Because this girl, like the age is like from 18 and up.
Mhm.
So, some girls would say like, no, he could be my father.
Mhm.
Or no, I don't like him. Or some others would be like, oh yeah, he's cute, I'll talk to him. So we did that for part of the night, and he spoke to different girls, and I would interpret whatever they were saying. But that first night, I don't remember him like saying anything like crazy or
Welcome, loungers.
disrespectful. He would just tell me like, I like,
Okay, I'm gonna go see if I can find the Twitter updates from today, because they have not dropped the audio yet, and I really want to play the some of the audio so I can see what's going on. Hold on, we'll read through and see what happened at the trial today. I missed most all of it, so. And I like to get my Twitter updates from Nate Eaton and Hidden True Crime and Lori Hellis. Those are the three trial live Twitter updates that I like to go see. I need a rundown of what happened today. Oh, hold on. You done? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me scroll down. Stuff is always in my way. Let me scroll down. To a couple of hours ago. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna scroll all the way to the bottom. You guys, this has to be the longest trial audio and tweet thread I have ever scrolled through. That took me forever to get to the bottom. Okay. I want to read today's Twitter update so I can kind of give me like what happened today in the courtroom. No. Hold on just a second. Did you see that, Glow? It is a lot that happened today. That trial audio is gonna go on until midnight, like forever and a day. Okay, it says it's Monday. We are back at the Ada County Courthouse for week 5 of Lori Vallow Daybell's murder trial. Yo, one time Chad called right after Tammy died. Chad called he was calling around to different funeral homes trying to get information. They said, okay, what's your name? He said Chad. They said Chad what? He said Chad Daybell. They said, oh, how do you spell that? He said D-A-B. No, he said D-A-B-E-L. That's damn near the same as your regular last name of Daybell. D-A-Y-B-E-L-L. You really thought you was slick. They have it on audio recording. That is some of the funniest shit I have heard. Okay, let's get back to the updates. What did I do? No, Jazzy. You want some pop? Here you go. I got a cup right here. Where was I? Okay, we expect to have more witnesses called by the prosecutors today. You can get caught up, whatever. Lori Daybell has just entered the courtroom. She is wearing a maroon top with a black jacket and black dress pants. She is chatting and laughing with her attorneys. Yeah, because y'all know Lori is just so funny. The prosecutors and defense attorneys are sitting at their tables. John Pryor, Chad Daybell's attorney, just walked into the courtroom, said a few things to John Thomas, one of Lori's attorneys, and then he left. Let me see. Glow said, hey, Jazzy. Glow said, hey. Glow said, hey. Now that they're playing the trial audio. Hey. Can y'all hear me over her music? Because if not, I was going to see if she would go sit in. Let me turn that down a little bit, Jazzy. Cool. Just a little bit. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you. Lori, and that Glow, that's one reason why. I forgot I could put this up there. That is one reason why I think that the judge said no cameras in the courtroom. Her cousin just said in an interview, I think on Friday, Lori, like, she knows for a fact, her cousin Megan. So if you could find her cousin Megan's interview, she says she knows for a fact Lori likes any type of attention, negative or positive. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Chad's attorney, he's coming. He's checking it out. He's seeing what's going on with Lori. Look, man, just go get a good defense together for Chad. Okay, go do that because you're going to need it. The bailiff reminds everyone of the courtroom contacts order in place. No recording on cell phones, no photos, no food. Oh, my God. I don't know if I can make it in there, y'all. Thank you to the reporters and the journalists that's going in the courtroom, like they eating and coming back and giving us all the updates. Because, honey, I'll die in the courtroom with no food. Put the lid back on that oil. Okay, so Judge Boyce entered the courtroom. Yeah, we gotta put the lid back. Jurors are being brought in. I'm about to get into my flow. Hold on just a second. Madison County Prosecuting Attorney Rob Wood. I don't know how I'm feeling about these prosecuting attorneys right now. They are leaving a lot of things lacking, but they're also bringing a lot of things to light in the case. All right. They say the next witness is going to be Keely Coleman. She is a senior DNA analysis at Bodie Technology in Virginia, and Woods will be questioning her. So the first witness was her. Coleman explains her educational background and the training she's received from her job. Yeah. Scroll. Where did I go? Okay. She has processed thousands of DNA samples as an analysis and has participated 20 times in proficiency testing. I think that says Bode and not Bodie. Okay. Bode has been performing DNA testing since it was established in 1995. Woods asked Coleman to describe DNA, but we know what that is. Whatever. We know what that is. Woods asks Coleman if controls are used in DNA testing. Excuse me. Thank you, baby. Okay, we know how to test all the DNA stuff. We're gonna skip this. I want to see what they're gonna ask her about the case. She describes what a DNA profile is. This is. Okay. Yeah, I'm live. It's okay. I'm just reading the live Twitter updates. Boyce says Coleman needs to testify from a personal memory and she can refer to her notes, but she can't read them. No, you can't testify off of your notes. That sounds crazy as shit. What did she say? She asked to refer to her notes. And Judge Boyce says it's okay as long as the defense can review them first. John Thomas looking over at Coleman's notes. The judge says Coleman needs to testify from personal memory and she can refer to her notes, but she can't read them. Okay. Coleman says in May 2022, she received 3 DNA profiles from Lori Vallow Daybell, Tylee Ryan, and Melanie Gibb. She also received several items of evidence, including a hair attached to an adhesive. Coleman says a portion of the hair. Yeah, you're right, Glow. Coleman says a portion of the hair was put into a test tube. It went through a series of washes to get rid of any extraneous DNA on the hair. We were trying to focus on the hair. Additional chemicals were added to the sample, and it went through heat and cool samples. We determined how much DNA was in the sample and then made lots and lots of copies. The partial DNA profile matched the DNA profile provided for Lori Vallow Daybell. The probability of randomly selecting a random individual in relation to that profile, just 1 point, is 1. Oh, that profile 1 is 71 billion. This hair belonged to Lori. Woods has no further questions, and that was the hair that was found on JJ. So it belongs to his mom, Lori. Thomas asked Coleman about her educational background and the standards Bode must follow. Okay, it's understood Lori's hair was stuck on a piece of duct tape used to wrap JJ. Thomas asked what the FBI requires of Coleman for DNA to go into the national database for testing. She responds that they require 20 characteristics. Okay, more. Ooh. Lori was paying close attention during cross-examination, and she looked back and forth between Coleman and Thomas as questions were being asked and answered. Basically, they're just proving over and over again that DNA did belong to Lori.
Corey, come take the garbage out.
Woods asked if the hair was tested against known profiles. Coleman says it was tested against 3 known profiles: Tylee, Melanie, Gibbon, Lori. I wonder if they're ever going to admit that. Never mind. Yeah, say it, Glow Glow.
You hear me, Corey? Okay. Thank you.
If they'll ever just admit any of this shit, I just don't see them admitting any of it. She's going to have a defense for it. She's going to blame it all on her brother, Alex. All right. They got the hair sample. They took it off the adhesive, put it in a test tube, blah, blah, blah. Did I go back down? It's been indicated that the hair had been found on duct tape that was in the presence of decomposition fluids. Gross. While Thomas brought up having evidence tested to get DNA into the FBI database, Woods asked Coleman if that was needed in this case. He said it was not, because she was testing a single piece of hair against 3 known profiles, not people in the FBI database. They're just basically proving it over and over. Then they had a recess. Then they're about to look at a PowerPoint presentation when they come back from the recess. To clarify what I reported earlier, the tape with Lori's hair was found on the outside of the plastic bag wrapped around JJ's body. We know that duct tape was used on JJ's wrists, ankles, and mouth. But this particular tape that her hair was found on was found on the outside of the black plastic bag. More tape was also used on the plastic wrapped around his body. They come back into court after the recess. The next witness is Rick Wright. That's a tricky name, Rick Wright. Her family trauma is going to be her defense. Well, I'm ready to see what it is, what her defense is going to be. I am ready for the state to rest just so I can see what the defense is going to be. I have a feeling it's going to sound really ridiculous. She might even say she was scared of Chad, but how could you say that you were scared of Chad and you flew to Hawaii with him 10 days later and got married? Well, I don't understand. How is that possible that you would be scared of him? So yeah, that really wouldn't be a good defense, but I could see her trying to use it. I could see them trying to say she's scared, she was scared of Chad, you were so scared of Chad because he killed your kids. But come on now. Ain't no mama finna be that much of a fool.
That ain't gonna work. I just shelters and stuff for people like that. It's You can get away from it.
Right. Oh, and hey, you can't be scared of Chad if you've been scared of all your other husbands and you had your brother handle it. That cannot be her defense that she was scared of Chad, because the last time you were scared of your last husband, you just had your brother go off him. So, like, why didn't you just have your brother go off Chad? Like, that cannot be her defense. Like, that she was scared of Chad, but I could see him trying to use it. I'm just curious to see what is their defense for this to be. What will it be? So this is a special FBI agent, an FBI special agent. Oh, wait. He is a contract special investigator for the FBI. Wright was the violent crimes against children coordinator in Denver from 2000, whatever. He did all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. He investigated crimes involving missing, abducted, and trafficked kids. In 2018, he was transferred to the Salt Lake City field office. Okay, this guy's on the stand. What's he going to say? Wright began investigating J.J. Vallow on November 27, 2019. He was contacted by Rexburg police, and under the Federal Kidnapping Act, the FBI was able to get involved because the missing child was under 12. Something is going to be revealed. Ooh, let me pull that off the screen. Hold on. I'm tripping. How do I get that off of there? And then we can see all the Twitter. Okay. You said something is going to be revealed as far as her past is concerned, and that affected her. That's just a variation. In the trial, possibly. I think, you could be absolutely correct. I've heard rumors and speculation already that this Cox family is very inappropriate sexually, like in front of their parents. Lori and Alex had a sexually, inappropriate relationship with each other. These are brothers and sisters. These are legit brothers and sisters. And there's been a lot of different people have, like her cousin named Megan came out and said that they would like play like they were dry humping each other and stuff in the kitchen of their parents' house and be laughing about it. So I believe, Glow, that there's something in her past for sure. It could definitely come out in her defense, Yeah, for sure. Hold on. Let me pull that down real quick and keep going. Let's see what else happened. So yeah, it began to investigate J.J. Vallow in November 2019. Initially, police were only aware that J.J. was missing. Wright was the case manager on the investigation. Fairly early on, we determined J.J.'s sibling, Tylee Ryan, could not be located, Wright says. Wright details 2 police departments in Arizona, the Fremont County Sheriff's Office and the Rexburg Police Department were all involved in the investigation. I was watching this lady. I'm not an expert either. I'm just an expert at running my mouth, Glow. That's it. And I'm an expert at speculation, too. We're some speculating experts. That's what we can call ourselves. I was watching a lady last night that's fairly close to the case in the trial. They have spent upwards of $3 million investigating this. From the beginning of this investigation, when the children went missing, overall, all law enforcement involved in this case, the trial, the public defenders, the paying of the information, because a lot of things that the police get access to, they have to pay for that information. They paid $1,000 for those satellite photos from a company that can grab satellite pictures, they had to pay $1,000 a piece for those photos that they showed in the trial. So this lady has already cost taxpayers, like I said, actually over $3 million. And it's a lot of different agencies that are involved in this. So the FBI, it looks like right here today, he's saying Tylee Ryan could not be located. Two police departments in Arizona, the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, and the Rexburg Police Department were all involved in the investigation. That's a lot of agencies. Fremont was probing the death of Tammy Daybell, and Chandler police were looking into the death of Charles Vallow. Gilbert police were looking into the shooting of Brandon Bordeaux. I feel like that right there. Tammy Daybell was being investigated by Chandler police. Charles Vallow, Fremont was investigating Tammy. Chandler police was investigating Charles, and Gilbert police were investigating the shooting attempt on Brandon's life. That's why they could get away with a lot of this for so long, because so many different agencies were involved that they weren't all putting the pieces together at the exact same time. That you couldn't have got away with all that at the exact same location. It would have been no way that 3 and 4 and 5 deaths would have been investigated with the same suspects in the same location. They wouldn't have got away with all of it like that. And I think this plays into a lot of people saying, well, how could Lori and Chad continue to get away with stuff like this? They were spreading themselves out between here and 10-2. And that's how. You got one police department investigating the death of Tammy Daybell. They don't know shit about what these people did to Charles Vallow in Chandler. And they didn't know what was going on with Brandon and Gilbert. And I think that's a big factor that plays into why they could get away with so much. They moved around too much, and they was committing a different crime in every location that they were going to. Now, Blake asked Wright if he met with Ian Pulowski. That's Melanie's new husband. Lori's niece, Melanie. Blake asked Wright if he met with Ian Pulowski. He said yes. He spoke with Ian at the Rexburg Police Department on December 5th, 2019. After the conversation, Wright says his concern for the children's safety increased. Wow. He was asked to consensually record conversations he was a party to. They already recording conversations in 2019. They're already setting people up and recording them. As soon as this particular FBI agent got on this case, and he was looking for a child under the age of 12 that was missing, and he could not find any evidence of his sibling being alive, he got serious with this shit. He started investigating the husband of Lori's niece. They told him pretty much, you're going to be recording your conversations. He was asked to consensually record conversations she was a party to. Ian agreed. Of course he agreed. He didn't even know what was going on. And he recorded some conversations that he had with Melanie Pulowski, his wife, which would be Brandon's ex-wife, and Lori, Alex, and Chad. Now, is Ian still married to Melanie? Oh, wow. This is some messy shit. The recording device belonged to the Rexburg Police Department, and they have copies of the conversations. Wright says that other FBI agents were brought in to assist with the case, including Agent Nick Balance, who testified earlier in the trial. When the records would come in from various phones that we requested from the carriers, they would go to him for analysis, and he was feeding information to give us potential avenues of investigation. Wright requested that Balance provide all data he retrieved from September 2019. He later gave Wright everything from October, to current, it's missing right here. We are about to see a PowerPoint presentation. I want to see that. I wonder where you can see that at, the PowerPoint. Thomas asked Wright when he completed the PowerPoint. Okay, when did he complete the PowerPoint? Wright says he worked with a prosecutor last night on the presentation. This was put together to help me with the information I had. Okay, he doing his investigation work. He putting it all together. The first slide says Alex Cox, HomerJMaximus@gmail.com with his phone number. Y'all, why was that his email? HomerJMaximus@gmail. That's like his, what do you call that when you have like a alter ego or something, or an alias or something? That's his alias. See you later, Chloe. Bye-bye. Thank you for coming. Homer J. Maximus. It appears Alex started residing in Idaho on September the 1st, based on his cell phone data. He moved from St. George, Utah to Rexburg the evening of the 1st, and the device began to spend his evenings at the Pioneer Road apartment. Beginning September the 5th, Alex's device began to go to another unit in the complex. The next slide shows Alex's travel activity data points based on his cell phone as he went to and from Yellowstone on Sunday, September the 8th. The data points come from GPS, Wi-Fi, and cellular tower data, according to Wright. This information was all compiled together, so each data point was looked at individually. They pinpointed him to the front of somebody's house, Corey. I mean, their front door. They could like pinpoint where you're at in your home. They can literally pinpoint where your phone is in your home. And you're sitting down in your living room. They know the location.
That's why you're supposed to turn that off.
Oh, well, I don't know about all that, but it says, it's going to say, I did see that part earlier. Wright says Alex's device left a Rexburg Maverick at 11:32 a.m. on September the 8th. We begin to see this data trail or breadcrumbs as it goes to the West Yellowstone entrance. The device goes to Old Faithful and then further into the park, and it eventually leaves the park at 6:40 p.m. See, they was going to push the kids into one of them geysers. I'm telling you. He thought about it. I swear. They was going to push them kids into one of them little geysers that they had out there at Yellowstone. There were stops at Old Faithful in the nearby cafeteria around 3 p.m. Wright says photos of Tylee, Alex, and JJ were taken on a boardwalk at Old Faithful at 3:49 p.m. The pictures were recovered on Lori's iCloud account, and these photos were the last known images of Tylee. Wright continues to explain the movements of Alex's device throughout the park as a map is displayed on the screen. He says the data points were very frequent, and Wright tried to identify potential areas of investigation. He says Alex's vehicle did not stop for any long duration until it had gotten to Yellowstone after it left the park. There didn't seem to be any unusual stopping or deviations while Alex was at the park. There was a stop close to a barbecue restaurant in West Yellowstone, and the vehicle arrived back at Lori's Rexburg apartment at 8:37 p.m. Wright says he could not identify much of anything to investigate with the Yellowstone trip. Everything seemed normal, and Wright is confident Tylee returned to the apartment. After Alex's device returns to Lori's apartment, it goes to a Maverick gas station for 10 minutes around 9:43 p.m. It then goes back to Lori's apartment and then to Alex's apartment. These apartments were like a few doors down. That's how much is pinpointing the location of these devices. It's showing him walking back and forth between the apartments, which are literally doors down from each other in the exact same apartment complex. There are several data points on Alex's device in Lori's apartment early on from September the 9th from 2:42 a.m. until 8:49 a.m. And that's the same night that Melanie Gibb spent the night, and her little fake ass husband woke up having a nightmare. No, he didn't wake up having a nightmare. They was killing JJ. Wright says he observed all the activity on Alex's device for the month of September. He was often at Lori's apartment from 8 o'clock to midnight, and then the device would go into Alex's apartment, and it would stay there until morning or noon. This is the only time I observed it to go to apartment 175 between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m. Damn. An overhead map is now shown of the apartment complex, and Wright points out the distance between Alex and Lori's apartment is 80 meters. On Monday, September the 9th, Alex's device departs Alex's apartment at 9 a.m. and it travels north to Chad Daybell's house, 8 miles north of the apartment, and it arrives around 9:15 a.m. Oh wow! Numerous data points were recorded between 9:15 a.m. See, that's when JJ was buried, or was that Tylee? I don't know, but I'm gonna get off here and do laundry. And I'm gonna come back in the morning and finish it. I'm tired. And I'm gonna come back on in the morning and finish